Yeah. Dennis Young here, Primitive Substance. I'm your host, and we got a great guest today, the legendary Peter Gordon and Love of Life Orchestra and all sorts of other projects. Peter, thanks for doing this.
Thank you for inviting me. Good to see you.
Oh, of course. So let's go back to the New York and the late 70s or mid 70s and what the city was like and what you were doing with music.
Well, in the mid '70s, uh, New York was really wide open. It was broke. It was East Village, that the beloved East Village. It looked like what we consider a war zone. I mean, as you recall, all sorts of
Right, I know.
vacant
Alphabet City.
Alphabet
Yeah,
City, and but also but what that meant is that musicians, artists, writers, we all had the opportunity sort of to make our stand there, and to
right.
rents were cheap, venues, there was a lot of DIY at the time, in terms
Yeah,
of it's if you wanted to do a show, you found a venue, a bar, or a loft, or a gallery, or something, and said, "Hey, can I do something on such and such a night?" I see, and usually they were really happy to have someone come in and bring in, bring in audience, and bring in people
right.
to spend money at the bars. I remember
You
CBGB.
play.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
CBGB. At first, it was just it had some pool tables, and poets would come in, and had country music on the jukebox, and it was really this wide open blank space that you could really
Yeah,
create your scene. And I think also at the same time, what was happening is that we all, the thing about New York is that, I mean, I was born in New York, but then I was a diaspora New Yorker. As a
right.
kid, I lived outside Washington, D.C., and then as a teenager, I lived in Germany and went to college in
Mm,
California. So I had all these my own set of musical influences, and I was just,
right, right.
I was just a glutton for music. I was listening to everything. I was hearing, great bands. I was hearing operas, classical music. I was hearing great jazz, and all of this became part of my own musical being. And
Yeah,
and what was happening, I think, in New York at the time, is that you really had a confluence of of a range of artists, musicians of my generation, who had
right,
maybe different inputs, but all had multiple musical experiences. And this
right,
was
right,
a so this was a really the opportunity that no one was making any money. No one even thought they
no,
could make any money, but it was really about
no, I
this
couldn't.
belief of wanting to create this art, this music that we felt needed to be made. It seemed like
Right,
something
yeah.
new was happening, and this was our life.
And you had the creation of the minimalist scene there in the West Philly, with Philip Glass and Rhys Chatham, and then you have the start of hip hop and that scene, and all the clubs were really exciting, and
Oh yeah,
it was just amazing time.
yeah, it was amazing. I mean, you had the early days of disco dance music.
Yeah,
You had punk. Then what? But then they later started calling uh, no wave. You had amazing
right,
Latin music, salsa music. This was, the height of salsa, and
right.
it was a really very rich period.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the great musicians you played with. Uh, you had David Van Tieghem, Arthur Russell, Peter Zummo. I mean, Ernie Brooks. And
Yeah.
that. You had quite a band there, Love of Life Orchestra. I mean, talk a little bit about that.
Well, with Love of Life Orchestra, this was my first week in New York. I had been going to college and in graduate school in California. At the same time, I was on the road with a rock band called Butchwax and the Glasspacks, which played like 50s rock and roll. And I arrived in New York in February of 1975. And, and I was playing new music, and I was playing jazz, and I was playing raunchy rock and roll saxophone, and studying with Terry Riley and Bob Ashley. And then I arrived in the East Village, and in my first week I met Rhys Chatham and Arthur Russell, and was going to poetry readings at the at St. Mark's Church, and going to concerts at the concerts at the Kitchen, and quite a number of these. I mean, really, everyone you mentioned, I'm still in touch with. I'm still working with.
That is really something.
Just did some Love of Life Orchestra shows on the Bowery, actually just down the block from CBGB at Bowery Electric. We did this in May, and then again,
I know that place. Yep.
And David Van Tieghem was in the band, and Peter Zummo was also in the band. These were original members of Lolo, as well as now a whole new generation of newer players who are also in the band.
That's so nice you're able to keep this up. I mean, keep it going. It's really
it really is. It's really early on. It was a decision I made as a composer that at the time, really, for composers, every performance was a new ad hoc situation. Like, you'd have to find the players, and each time it was starting from scratch. And and at the same time, I wasn't getting invited to write for the New York Philharmonic or anyone like that, and I created my own ensemble, the Love of Life Orchestra, which was really as a as a medium which I could perform my compositions, and as well, it really came from a certain, in fact, a socio-political belief, and which I really strongly believe in. And the idea of the Love of Life Orchestra is that you had musicians, artists coming from a wide range of backgrounds. Some were highly trained classical players, others were great jazz improvisers, others were rock musicians who would read chord charts or learn by rote. Some had years of musical experience, some had just been playing in music for the first time, but one really wanted to create a situation in which all of these diverse individuals with different experience could bring who they were and their own experience into the music. And it was really very much related, in fact, to a belief that this is really the way that the only way that society can survive. That we're really.
Where'd you play in the city besides CBGB's? Where were some of the clubs that you played at?
Played at Max's, Max's Kansas City. Played at the Mud Club.
Oh, we played there. That's a great place.
Yeah, that was great. Danceteria.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, Danceteria. Played some bigger shows at Irving Plaza.
I remember that place
Did,
too.
did you remember that place on 8th Street, Rock Bottom?
No, we
That
didn't
place.
play there.
Oh, you're good, lucky. I mean, that was one of those, those places which are you have to go like down a whole flight of stairs, take all your gear across the basement.
Oh, I
Then
hated
go,
that. We had a lot
yeah,
of those shows.
yep, yeah, a bunch, a bunch of those, as well as certainly Phil Niblock's Loft, the Experimental Intermedia Foundation. That was a very important place for a lot of music. The mentioned the Kitchen.
Oh yeah, that's a legendary place.
Yeah, and then well, those are
Did
the
you go?
places that.
Did you go to Europe
Hurrah!
at all?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
of course. Oh, you went to
yeah.
Europe with the group. Oh, okay.
Yeah, went to Europe a group, and that was great. Played festivals in Holland. Italy was very good to us. I mean, we really somehow made a connection with the Italian audiences. So we did a lot of trips to Italy, Switzerland. Recorded actually at a studio in Geneva, Switzerland. Recorded an
Okay.
album in Geneva, and some other
Wow.
tracks there. England, Germany, France. That's you know the circuit.
I could see, yeah, I could see how your music would go very well over there. The Italians were really, especially at that time, the 70s, they were so into progressive music. You know, anything
Yeah,
new and progressive they loved.
yeah, and as well, they responded well. There's to the melodic nature of a lot of my music. You know that they responded well to that.
Yeah.
And
We had crazy one-off shows. I mean, we'd go to Norway for one show, a
yeah,
festival, and come back. Go to
yeah,
Bologna. We got stuck there and we played one show, and then nobody booked us any more shows. And it's like four young guys just at a hotel for 5 days. What are you going to
you could
do?
you could do worse than being in a hotel in
That's
Bologna.
true. You're right. That's what I
Yeah,
tell people now.
yeah. One place. There was a festival in Switzerland, a little town called Ulrichsburg, which would have a festival. Otherwise, it was just a complete farm town. I mean, you go there, it just smells like the whole town smells like cow manure,
Oh,
and
that's funny.
they put you up above a barn, but
There you go.
those people come from all over Switzerland to it. That was,
Oh, that's great. Those are great
that.
memories. I mean, that's what it is. Now I don't know what to make of those kind of places anymore. I mean, do you still go over to Europe and play?
Yeah, haven't uh, not not as much as I used to, but yeah, still recent have been doing shows in England and in Germany, and I was with some of us we were performing Arthur Russell piece instrumentals, which we
Okay.
were then
Oh, I
we
know
did.
that's a great record.
Yeah, well, we did that about 5, 6 years ago. We did it, or maybe a little more. Did a tour of that, and that was great. We got to play at some of the festivals and Primavera Festival, which was great.
Mm.
Badman Kilby. We played in Oslo and Helsinki, and a few shows in England. So I still go back forth there. Also for residencies last
Oh, you
last
went to
summer.
that. Wow, that's
Yeah,
even better yet.
yeah.
That,
Last summer, Kit Fitzgerald, my wife, Kit Fitzgerald, video artist. We have
okay.
long-term collaboration, and we were at a residency in Venice for 6
Venice. Oh
weeks last.
man, that's
You
Oh, that
know,
must have been
I mean,
fantastic.
yeah,
Oh,
that was great. And then uh, while in Italy, I went down to Naples, and I produced a really fine Italian group called Piranha Color, and
okay.
did recorded a single with them um, down in Naples, Italy, and been still been going as well, making trips to Ireland, and then
And are you getting paid for these trips, or they're just they? I mean, the shows they're just. I know they're taking care of everything else, but you get pretty good money for the shows too.
well,
There's
pretty good money. I mean,
enough to
we
cover everything.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. That's the main thing.
It covers everything. It pay
And you're
pays our
enjoying
way,
it.
and you eat very well. That's the thing about traveling in Europe. Traveling in Italy, I just it's it's great. And then
Now,
in the 90s, though, I began traveling to Asia as well.
oh, you've been to
So
Japan?
yeah. So
Oh,
did
I love Japan.
spent did a 6 month residency there in Japan in '92, and then did some various commissions. I did music for a circus in Tokyo as well,
A
and
circus. Wow.
yeah,
That must
yeah,
have been
yeah,
fun.
yeah. That's part of my background too. In New York, as well, performed a couple of years with the Big Apple Circus, like
Oh, look at
ear-
that.
ear- early on. I mean, the first uh, at one point, the Big Apple Circus was myself, David Van Tieghem, uh, uh, Peter Zummo, and then Rick Albani, and it was and so we. In the first year of the circus, did you remember a Boris Police Band? Did you
No,
know?
don't know him.
No, Boris. You probably would have seen him at the Mud Club. He was always like wearing dark glass, very tall, wearing dark glasses, standing against the wall in the Mud Club. But he would also do these shows where he'd play violin, sort of amplified
Hmm.
violin, as well
Oh,
as
that sounds
police radios
interesting.
and all this distortion. But he was also a very fine violinist, so he was in the circus as well. I sort
So
of
you played the circus like a run in New York, like you were the music as the performers
yeah,
were.
we were
That
the
must have been
band. We
something.
played for months. I mean,
That is.
10 shows a week. I mean, it's a
Oh my
workout. I mean,
God, that's great.
and it's like it's it's nothing. I mean, it's amazing when you're in like a tent with 3,000 people, and you
Yeah,
a tent with 3,000 children laughing. I mean,
yeah, that
and
is
then
something.
as well, and then later I did a circus in Tokyo, and
That
even
must have really been fun. And probably these performers are probably something, right? Amazing, right? Tightrope and
oh
trapeze and
oh
such
yeah oh
talent.
yeah oh yeah. I mean and then especially, I mean, they're all the circus world. The level of skill and precision, it all looks like fun circus. We joke,
Right,
oh, join the
right.
circus. But no, I mean, the ring crew, they're like, I mean, people's life is on the line, so they have
Yes,
to be
true.
right. Exactly. And you see, like in 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 Japan, we were working with members of the old Moscow circus, and the aerialists, those on the
Mm,
trapeze. They have those, those eyes like pilots. They have
right.
those somehow like really clear, like really, there's a certain intensity. And like for someone to be,
Right.
40 feet up in the air doing backflips, you have, there's a lot of precision involved there.
I imagine. And
You
such
know, so
talent. I don't know. It's hard work. I could see that.
yeah, it's hard
It's
work, and it's
and now
also
you did.
very, yeah, it's also
I
very
imagine in
physical. And
Japan. I imagine.
yeah,
Now you
oh
also,
yeah,
and I can't imagine in Japan the talent that must have been there because they're so disciplined. And
oh
in
yeah, oh yeah,
Japan, that's the
yeah.
react. Well,
Well,
we
it
were
was,
there for a week, and it's
oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's, you know, everything is very precise. I mean, you know, they measure, as you know, they measure where everything is in on the stage exactly.
mm. Now
And
you did an opera. Now you did an opera also. I see. How did that
uh,
go?
I did actually a number of operas. Uh,
Oh, okay.
the uh, the uh, I did well. I did some work. First, I did a work which was really deconstructing and reconstructing the Verdi opera Otello, which I did with
Mm,
the Italian theater company Falso Movimento, which I ended up getting a few awards for this score. And this was
mm,
really, it was basically remixing Verdi. Um,
mm,
and then I worked, did a few electronic operas. I did one with the a theater group Talking Band, with the directed and written by the playwright Paul Zamet, and it was
good.
called Party Time, and it was really about two soldiers in a desert war, and the score was well, it was really an electronic. I like to think it was really basically a techno opera. It was
Ah,
pre-recorded pulsating synths, but then
mm,
operated opera singing above it. Then I did the opera with the visual artist Lawrence Weiner, called "The Society Architect Ponders the
mm,
Golden Gate Bridge," and this we did in Berlin and in Bonn
mm,
as well. And this, the libretto of the opera, was taken directly. It was basically from the transcript of a court case that Lawrence was involved in, where he was in a automobile accident and he was injured, and he was
mm,
trying to get damages. But the whole court case was about what is his value as an artist, and being a conceptual
mm,
artist who doesn't deal with objectified art. This it was an incredible text, because you
mm,
had the lawyers examining Lawrence and having him testify about the nature of art and the nature of work and the nature of conceptual art in a court of law. So I set to music with two singers, with two lead singers, two soloists, as well as a female chorus, and an as well an electronic score. We did this in Bonn and Berlin.
Now you wrote all the music to this, all the
Yeah.
parts. Ah,
Oh
very
yeah. Oh
impressive.
yeah. Oh yeah. Another opera which was done at La Mama, which was based on the Uspensky book, the the life of the strange life of Ivan Osokin, and
Mm,
it was we did this in with really about a dozen singers, which was directed by the late director Lawrence Sakharov, and
mm.
written by Constance Congdon. But this was
Ah, okay.
based on the Uspensky novel.
Ah, okay. Wow. How long does it take to do these operas? I mean, this must take a. Does it take a lot of time to write everything? I mean,
Yeah,
'cause you seem
yeah.
very
I mean,
prolific with everything.
I would say it takes, it depends. It can take, a year, couple of years. Sometimes it takes a while to develop.
Hmm.
I did an opera at BAM with the writer Kathy Acker and the director Richard Foreman and David Sally, the designer, called The Birth of the Poet, which
Okay,
we did at
I was going to mention that. Hmm.
yeah, we did that at BAM, and before that we did that in Rotterdam,
Oh,
and so that was and this as well was I work I play with the band live, but also the studio is really my instrument as well, and so for the operas, and some of these they have really electronic uh, uh,
synthesizers.
electronic or synthesized processed
Hmm.
scores
And now,
as
are
well.
these? Did you record these operas? Are they available for
Uh,
everybody out there to get to hear?
they they will be some of the some you can find I'm gonna be release the Otello came out as a cassette, and as
I
well we'll
remember
be
that. We were on it.
re-releasing.
We were on a
Yeah.
Tellus
Uh,
compilation.
well, this was
Uh,
actually Roar. Uh,
okay,
uh, you know, uh, Reach Out International. But
yeah, I remember those.
same deal. But I just recently have started my own label, predominantly a digital label called Adjacent Records,
Okay,
and the Adjacent Records. I'll be releasing a lot of these scores. I'm
that'd be
just
great.
actually so just sort of in the process of that. I mean, I'll just do a little. There's
Yeah, I'm
Adjacent.
here. Look at
That's our
that. Ah, there it
label.
is. That is
So
good. Well, we'll put that in the description for sure. And then you also worked on a mystery drama series. Can you talk about that?
uh
Was that The Necklace?
oh
I
yeah,
saw
the
something
necklace
about that.
that was with the Talking Band as well. I've done a number of
Okay.
pieces with the theater group, the Talking Band, and that was a serialized mystery drama, which I think there were 8 different episodes. And I've
Oh, that
and the
must have been.
thing is, I like to work. I've done a lot of work in theater, and for the most part, well, not you know, a, a lot of the music that then appears on records. Very often, it starts out as something which I would write for the theater.
Mm.
Certainly for the even music for Lolo as well.
Mm.
I have an album, Leningrad Express, which you can hear on Spotify. That's on the Italian label,
Okay.
New Tone Records, and that has an, a number of the pieces were originally composed as theatrical work.
Oh,
But
how tough?
the thing is,
Go ahead.
well, the thing is that I like about working about directors, working about drama, is that it puts you in musical. It's like musical problem solving, and it puts you in
Mm.
situations which you might not necessarily be put up with. Uh, so as a result, I find my place going in really different places musically that I uh, might not have expected to be in.
Yeah, for like a drama series, you've got to really be precise. You know, when the music stops, when it starts, working with
Hmm.
the actual script. That's not
Yeah,
easy work. That's hard.
yeah, and but also at the same time, it's also I like working in a situation though where the music can also serve uh, as part of the setting, as part of the environment. So it doesn't necessarily have to be. So sometimes it can be like directly, synced to the action,
Right.
but other times it's not literally synced moment for moment. But yeah, it's very precise. When does the music come in? When does the music
Yeah, you have to
come
be
out?
good at that. Now, have you done any movies at all? Soundtrack for that?
Done some movies. I mean, more uh, as well. Very often, I find that my music has been as well been put in music, put in movies as well, existing music. But I had a great project a number of years ago in the movie Joe versus the Volcano, and the director
Okay.
John Patrick Shanley called me up, got a call out of the blue saying, "Hi, we're calling from Steven Spielberg Studios, and would you be interested in doing some music?" I said, "Oh,
Oh,
yeah."
why not?
And
Yeah, of course.
and for that was a great project, because in the movie there's uh, they go to, it's with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, and they go to an island in the somewhere in the Pacific. And my
Mm,
assignment was to create the musical identity, basically to create the ethnic music for this
mm.
fictitious island. And that was, that was that was a lot. That was really a lot of fun, because I would be as well going on the set,
I
and
imagine. Now,
and
do you do this? Are you doing all home? You have a home studio now that you do most of your work, or do you go to a
well
recording
now I
studio?
do it all. Now I do it all, in the home studio. But for that, for example, for Joe versus the Volcano, I
Yeah.
would, I, I would, I got to record in, Right Track Studio, and
Mm.
uh, uh, I think we used Sorcerer Sound at the time,
That's
and
where we recorded at Sorcerer
yeah,
Sound. That was a nice place.
wasn't it?
We
Didn't
enjoyed that.
that
Yeah,
get a
we
great
enjoyed it.
song? Yeah, I miss that room. So
Yeah.
and so now, of course, now I'm working in Pro Tools, and I work a lot in Ableton as well. And
Mm.
so with with some good mics, and you can record anywhere. So
Ah,
so I've been doing a lot of it, and certainly in post production, and doing that at home. But for
right.
example, though I did do like recently on Adjacent, I released a recording called Piety Street Adjacent, which is all recorded at a studio in New Orleans, as well as
Mm.
with some New Orleans musicians, which is some
Oh,
really
that must have been fun.
great funky sound. So I like working at home. At the same time, I like going to a studio. Uh, I like going to studio out of town also, because
Yeah.
that way
Yeah.
it means like you're in a place, and you're there specifically to work on that project. So
Now, have you
that's
ever worked at Abbey Road? Have you ever been there? Have you worked
yeah,
at the,
yeah, actually I did. I did a piece in Holland based on the French writer uh, Georges Bataille, which I worked on
okay.
with Kit Fitzgerald, and one of them was a short film, a short 30-minute erotic film. But I
Mm.
recorded I recorded the string quartet at Abbey Road, which was
Oh boy, that must have been something.
it was great to have the opportunity. That was like, yeah, that was a great sounding room. And in the went with an engineer who knew the room,
Hmm.
recorded the strings. He just used these B&K mics, which he just knew
Oh yeah, they have the best mics.
just where to put them.
Yep.
Didn't use any EQ. Just like, it was a great sounding room.
Yeah,
I
it's a
like
legendary
that.
classic place and great sound.
Yeah,
And
great sound.
I just interviewed Ray Russell, and I didn't realize he worked at Abbey Road a lot. Guitars on the James Bond soundtracks. And
Yeah, they're doing a lot of soundtrack work there.
right.
I like working at New York. Right Track. That was a great studio. Electric Lady. Did you work in there at all?
No, we never got
So,
there. I wish we
yeah,
did. That must have been
yeah.
something.
That's a great. That was the great sounding
That
room.
vibe must be something in that place. You still have that Hendrix. Looks like that Hendrix feel is
Oh yeah.
still there.
Oh yeah, and recorded the recording I did with Justine and the Victorian Punks. We were it was Still You and Beautiful Dreamer. Did that with Colette and members of Lolo, and that we were recorded in the upstairs room at Electric
Oh
Lady.
boy.
With
Now,
Neve
something.
Studer, combo, great, East Lake. It was great, great sounding room.
That had to be. Now, who were some of the producers you liked working with? Was there name a few producers that over the years that that really stuck out?
Well, for that I worked with Jay Burnett, who was a great engineer. He's been in London now for decades, but he worked on the early Bombada tracks as well. I did a lot of work with, and as well as did an album with David Cunningham of the Flying Lizards, and who
I know that.
Produced Michael Nyman and This Heat, and we did an album together called The Yellow Box, which is it was sort of like the last sampling album before the advent of samplers. So it was all a lot of done with found sounds, and then I've been for the EP Extended Niceties EP, worked with Kurt Munkazy on that, and then on more recently I've been doing the producing. So
that's okay.
So that's it's more like and then I'm where I'm producing others as well.
Well, we have something in common because you put out something on DFA Records.
Yeah, and you have something just came out, right? Today?
Well,
is it?
Today on DFA is the Bellhead on one side, which was recorded in 2003. We went in the studio with James Murphy, and then the other side is a remix of Optimo, a instrumental version. So you were on DFA also. You did something with them.
Yeah, I did a sort of an anthology, quasi retrospective album called Love of Life Orchestra, which was a compilation of a lot of the dance tracks, and it was I really owe a lot to James and to James Murphy and Pat Mahoney.
He's great.
Isn't he? And then and they put my EP, the Lolo EP Extended Niceties, which they used on their Fabric anthology compilation, which came out Fabric 36, and they actually opened and closed the album, and that was sort of led to I would say sort of a resurgence of interest in my music, and as well as it sort of led me. I heard what LCD Sound System was doing, and it made me more interested in going back into dance music as well.
Yeah.
So
our last show ever was with LCD Sound System at the Madison Square Garden.
I was there.
You were?
I was there. I was there.
I wish we could have played a little later though. We came on exactly at 8. If we just waited a little while, because people were still coming in, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was there.
It is what it is.
And that was that was that was a big venue. What was it like playing Madison Square Garden?
It was
I never played
unbelievable.
there.
I mean, I never thought we'd ever play there. And the exciting thing was backstage, in the dressing
Oh,
room, seeing all of those pictures of all those big stars and saying, "Oh
yeah.
my God, I'm on the same stage." Now this was before they remodeled the garden. I think after
Yeah.
this show they remodeled the place. So
Yeah.
it was some way to go out, right? Our last gig. We had a
Yeah.
couple reunion periods, and then that was it.
Yeah. Well, and then I worked with James on he brought me in to work on a Museum of Love track, with
Oh
which
yeah,
is
I
which
know
was
that, right?
Pat Mahoney's band. And
Right.
so I did some shows with them, and we did some live shows at the Knockdown Center when
Mm.
DFA did a big party then. And I so are you going to be doing any more live shows with DFA? Any live
I
shows, do
no,
you
I don't
think?
think so. I think that was it. That was 2011, and
Yeah.
everybody's gone their separate way. Sal Principato, he still has a monthly show at Sleepwalker in Brooklyn. He brings artists
Aha.
in,
Oh,
and
nice.
I came in to play a little bit one time, and yeah, he's still active. Richard McGuire has
Oh, yeah.
made it really big with the movie Here that's coming out. So he's
Mm-hmm.
actually went from the book to the movie, so he's doing really well. But James was always great to us, and their studio was
Oh, yeah.
always something. He was
Wasn't
very
it? Yeah.
technical. He
Oh,
knew
yeah.
the
Well,
mics, he
right.
knew everything.
Well, actually, now what I've been doing which I do it every month, the last Fridays of the month. Actually, I do a DJ set where
Hmm.
but I'm DJing only my own tracks, only tracks that I've
Oh, okay.
recorded or produced, or uh, and both from vinyl and from uh, uh, digital as well, which I do at Night Moves, which is the club
Hmm.
adjacent to the Four Horsemen restaurant, which is
Oh, okay.
which is James' restaurant, right down from the new
Oh, that's
new
right.
new DFA. So still
Now,
have that connection with
what
DFA. But
that's something. Now, what nights do you do this? You do once a month or every
once
week?
a month, once a month,
Gotta check
the
this
last
out.
Friday of the last Friday of the month from 6 to 10. I'll
I gotta
come
come
by,
down. I gotta come in the city and
and
check that out.
check it
Everybody
out.
out
And
there.
it's a really nice hang. And James designed the sound system, which is it's the best sounding club in town. It's really
Hmm.
great. It's right on the dance floor. It's like you're right in the center of the music, but it's
Oh,
it's
what?
also good where you can hang and talk to people. Plus it has the wine bar of the the drink menu of the Four Horsemen. So
Hmm.
it's really a cool place. And
Yeah, he does it
and
right. He knows what to do.
yeah,
He,
and for me it's a great opportunity because I get to especially having the label, I get to hear try out tracks with a
yeah,
I get before in front of a live audience, and I get to hear what things sound like.
you can't beat
So
hearing your music in a big club with a great sound system. I mean, it's really something.
it's
You
a
can't beat
rush.
it.
It's a rush. It's a
It is.
I had such a rush. I mean, this summer at for celebrate Brooklyn, they had an Arthur Russell night, and
Hmm.
and I was there. And for DJs, they had Love Injection, and they had then
Hmm.
Francois, and they were both like Love Injection. They were so cool. Paul and Barbie. They were playing some of my tracks, and I
Oh,
was hearing over like a big, in Brooklyn over a big hall,
yeah.
and then hearing Francois mixing tracks that I worked on with Arthur live. It was an incredible rush, hearing
Wow.
music through something like that. But then, but then hearing it in the club, and it gives me a chance to try out things because it's surprising. Some
Right.
things which I sort of discounted, I say these things sounds great.
Yeah.
So that's what I that's what I've been doing every month.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, yeah. James really was great with us and that label, and it's pretty
Mhm.
exciting to still be, people still want to hear our music. It's we never
Yeah,
thought after a couple years we never thought we this would still be going on so many years later. It's
yeah,
really pretty
yeah.
exciting.
Well, and then I have a record which I did with the uh, English group Factory Floor, uh,
Okay,
and which came out on Optimo Records, inspired by Optimo,
those guys are
inspired by
great.
their song.
Those
You
guys are
know,
great. Keith
aren't they?
and Johnny, they're the
Yeah,
best.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So Keith put it out on their label. So where it all keeps on going.
Yeah, it's like a big
You know?
circle. It never ends. You just keep going. It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Well,
and it's
those guys did the remix of Optimo. That's on the B side of the DFA record. So pretty exciting.
that's
Uh,
exciting, and we'll see. It's we're there's nothing immediately planned, but we're still
yeah.
talking about doing some more stuff on DFA. So
Oh,
with
okay.
Lolo, so so I'm hoping that'll happen as well. And also, I'm really I learned so much listening to James and Pat and
Mm.
listening and Juan McLean and Shit Robot and
Oh,
and
you're with
and
the
Nan-
right people there. They are.
and
They
and
know their
Nancy
stuff.
and hearing them
Yeah.
DJ in the club, it's like that was like it was really a whole new type of music education to me.
Hmm.
Sort of, and
Yeah, they know how
speaking to
to
James,
feel the crowd, like the Optimo guys. They know how to
yeah,
feel the crowd and build it, and it's just amazing what some of these DJs do.
yeah,
How
and
they
it's
can bring a crowd with you
mm-hmm.
on a
and
journey.
as and it's and it's James was would describe it. It's like you're throwing a party, and initially
Mm,
people get to meet. You're sort of just playing records. People get to meet each other, and then
right.
they start making friends. And by like 2 a.m, everyone is dancing with their friends,
That's
and
right.
and it's like, wow, that's really smart.
So what
So
currently
it's
what are you going to be working on in the future, Peter, before we wrap this up? I mean, this has been a really great interview. I'm so happy you did this. So what are you currently
uh,
coming out with in the future, or any new projects besides with DFA?
well, right. Well, there's as I mentioned, there's adjacent records.
Right.
So we'll be so I'm both in the process of releasing music that has been unheard, as
Mm,
well as new sessions, new music, which I've been recording, both dance music and as well just a whole wide range. I mean,
mm.
it really comes the title adjacent records. It's like I've been described as you know no wave adjacent or
There
jazz
you go.
adjacent.
I like
And
that.
I'm just going to be okay. I'm adjacent, so
Yeah.
so I'm working on that. Uh, working on some more video operas with Kit Fitzgerald,
Mm,
and and that's what's be coming out. Uh, focusing on immediately, as well as doing some shows with Love of Life Orchestra, and as I mentioned, doing these my DJ shows. We call them hidden resources. I do it with Matt Shaw, who's a great DJ,
okay.
great DFA DJ, and as well the band Museum of Love. And we do this the last Friday of the month at Night
I
Moves,
got to try to come
which
in one time and see
I'm
that.
into one of those, and and hopefully be able to take it on tour. Want to
Oh,
be
that
able
would
to
be
take
even
the
more
DJ
exciting.
show well as go back on tour with Lolo again. We're all
Mm.
the band is sounding great. It's really
Ernie, is Ernie in the
so it's
band? Still in the band? Ernie Brooks? He playing
Not
with you?
he's not. He hasn't been playing in with Lolo lately, but he was
Okay.
been playing with the Arthur Russell stuff that we've been
Yeah.
doing. We did Arthur Russell instrumentals, and I'll be coming out with a recording of that. But
Hmm.
yeah, and we'll be
Nice.
doing more stuff with Ernie as well. You know,
I had a good
Ernie's
interview with Ernie. We unfortunately we had some technical difficulties, but he's got more stories. It's really
oh
something
man,
talking
oh
to him.
man, yeah, Ernie's a trooper. Ernie's like, and really smart and
Yeah,
really a
he
good
is.
soul and really an activist politically, and
Yep.
it's Ernie's very dear to me.
Now, is there any thoughts of writing a book? I mean, you've got so much music and
Actually,
stuff.
yes.
That's good.
Actually, yes.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
Okay.
It's that will be, people say you should write a book, you should write a book. Actually, I'm writing a book and compiling a book because there's a lot that I've already written. So,
Oh, that's even
yeah,
better yet. Okay.
so hopefully it will. I mean, a book takes longer than writing an opera.
Oh,
So,
I'm sure.
you know, it's like, but yes, there will be a book. And as well, I'm looking to do as well. I'm really looking to do, I love working in film. I mentioned
Okay.
as well, I had some tracks which appeared on the Deuce on HBO.
Right.
They licensed some music, and and so there's some directors I've been talking to. So hopefully you'll be hearing some of my music that way as well.
Well, we'll have to come back on once all this is going on at some point, and would love to talk to you again.
Well,
Peter, you're so prolific. It's a great story.
well,
You're just
well.
it's so
Thank you,
great. You
and
keep going.
well, it's great to talk with you, and and I'm looking forward to hearing your new release on your old new release on DFA,
Yeah, it's
and
exciting.
and I really appreciate you having me on
Oh, no
talking to me.
problem. You
It,
you
it's
were
a great it's a great
it's a great
series that you've
story
been.
you have. Thank
Well,
you.
thank
I've
you.
been trying to get artists like yourself, Rhys, Ernie, even some new. I really want creative people. I don't want to just
Well,
talk to, and you're one of them for sure. That that's
well, thank
that's
you
a
very much.
given. It's true.
Well,
All right.
you know,
Well, nice talking to you, Peter. And send me some descriptions of what you want me to put in the notes for the meeting, and
will
we'll get
do.
it up in time when I get a chance to edit it. But it'll be up.
Great, and
Okay.
I'll see you at Night Moves.
I'm gonna
You
try to make it.
come on down,
Okay.
come on across the river. I'll see you later.
I will. All right, Peter. Great talking
Take
to
care.
you. Have a great night, great weekend.
You
I
too. Take
will.
care.
See you.